Hi everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the Makehuman to realmcrafter pipeline tutorial. My name is Frank Sucardi, also known as CyborgPrime, and this tutorial covers animating a mesh and exporting it to the realmcrafter game editor, where it can be used as an actor for player characters, monsters, vendors, whatever. Since we're going to be exporting to the Blitz 3D animation format, we're going to need to load the B3D exporter for Blender. So make sure that you get that file. Here it is here. And you're going to want to download this from the Blitz 3D website. And then you're going to want to place it in the add-ons folder for your version of Blender. And so that basically goes here under Program Files, Blender, your version number, and then scripts and add-ons. You can just plop it in there. After you put it in there, though, you're going to need to activate it within the user preferences of Blender. So go ahead and start up Blender. Go ahead and just click, and that gives you the default scene with the default object, which is a cube. What we want to do now is go here under File, and then come down here to User Preferences, and you can just type into this box B3D, and now you should see the two different B3D handlers. Now this is the one that we just loaded in, the B3D, Blitz 3D modeled exporter. So make sure there's a little check mark right here. When you first install it, it's going to look like this. So you're going to put a little check mark, whoops, a little check mark next to it there, and that will turn it on. And then come down here and do Save User Settings so it remembers that setting. And go ahead and close that. So now we're ready. Now let's go ahead and get rid of this. So we'll just right click it to select it, and then press the delete key and then delete it. Now we want to bring in our 3D mesh that we made from the first tutorial. It needs to have an associated bone hierarchy attached to it. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and use the Makehuman mesh with the second life skeleton that we baked the textures on from the first tutorial. So we'll just go here. Here's Fred. There's Fred. Alright. Now, after we have our texture model from the previous tutorial installed, we're going to go over here to the scene viewer, and we want to choose the root of the mesh. So that's going to be this right here. Okay. Now we want to go ahead and map an animation to this. So there's a very nice tool called Makewalk. Now this should have been installed along with the other Blender tools at the beginning of the previous tutorial. If you haven't installed this, go ahead and do that now. You just simply do it by going into your Makehuman folder. You find a folder called Blender Tools. Inside it, it has a folder called Makewalk. You copy that over into the add-ons. You'll see there's a here it is, Makewalk, and make sure that's in. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we've picked a walking animation that's available in a public motion capture database, but you could use any motion. We went ahead and edited the walking motion into a loop, and then we're going to go ahead and apply that now. So here we have our example freshly loaded from the previous tutorial. It's just a mesh with a built-in skeleton. We're going to click here, Load and Retarget. And here's the animation I put in here. This is a 3D Studio compatible BVH file. Just double click it. Okay, now look what happened. It put our model into the T-pose, and you'll notice down here all these keyframes added to the animation timeline. I'm going to go ahead and change this here to be like a 41 because there's only I think 41 frames of animation in here, and you can make sure that your animation has loaded correctly by coming down here to the timeline, hold down the left mouse button, and kind of scrub it back and forth. Now you'll see our arms look kind of wonky and our heads down, but that's those are things we can fix later. That's not really part of this tutorial. If you want to watch it loop, you can click play, and then holding down the middle mouse button, you can move your mouse, and now you can see the walk animation from the side. Alright, so it looks good, and it's basically ready to take into realmcrafter. But we need one little modification first. We need to rename the bones of the skeleton so that they're compatible with realmcrafter. So, go over here to the scene, and under pose, we're going to expand the entire tree under pose so we can see all the bones. Just hit these little pluses. Okay. And neck. Okay, so that's all expanded. I'm going to stretch this out so we can see the names a little bit better, so we can see the hierarchy. Alright, now, the first thing we need to do is go down the tree. We'll just start at the head and click here to choose it. In fact, you can just double click it, and in realmcrafter, all of the bones have capital letters, so we need the head. realmcrafter doesn't care about the neck. It does care about the chest, so let's go here to the chest, double click, chest, capital C. The next thing we need is the right shoulder and left shoulder. So here's right shoulder, and realmcrafter wants R underscore shoulder. Okay, now let's go down to left shoulder, that's here, and we're going to call it L underscore shoulder. Remember to use initial caps there. Okay, now we need right forearm and left forearm. So here's the forearm, right forearm, so R underscore forearm. And then here's the left forearm bone. Let's click that, double click, and do L forearm. Alright. Next we need the right and left hand. Here's the right hand. So R underscore hand. And then we're going to come here and we're going to do L underscore hand. Be careful about typos or having double cap letters. I often don't let go of the shift key in time and I end up with two capitals. Alright, so now we're going to add next right shin and left shin. So let's come down here. Here's the shin, right shin. That's R underscore shin. And L shin here, that's going to be L underscore shin. And then the last bones are going to be the left foot and right foot. So here we double click, L underscore foot. And here we enter R underscore foot. Alright. That's it. It's all ready to go out to realmcrafter. So come over to here, under File, we're going to go File, Export, B3D, and let's just call it, let's just leave it MyFred B3D, and then click B3D Export. Okay, so that's it. Alright, so now the next thing we need to do is copy the 3D mesh that we just exported into the realmcrafter mesh folder, and we also need to copy the texture into the realmcrafter texture folder. So we're going to go ahead and we're done with Blender, so let's go ahead and close it. You can save your work if you like. I'm going to say no here. Alright, now what we have is, here's back in the Blender folder, we have MyFred B3D, And here's the walk animation step. But what we're really concerned with are these two files. This one needs to go into the meshes folder, and this one needs to go into the textures folder. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to take it over here to realmcrafter projects, data meshes, actors, humans, male fighter. Go ahead and paste it in there. There it is, my Fred. Alright, and then we want to do the same with the texture. So back here in the Blender area, we're going to copy, and then we're going to take it over to our new realmcrafter project, textures, and we're just going to paste that in here. Okay, now these are both ready to import into realmcrafter. So let's go ahead and now we're ready to open up our realmcrafter game editor. So open that up. Okay, now come here under media, and we're looking at the 3D mesh folder. So go to actors, let's click once, humans, click once, and we're going to add a new file. So click add new file. It's going to be under actors, humans, male fighter, and here's my Fred. Go ahead and click that, say open. The mesh is animated, so we're going to click that and say OK. And now we should see there's our Fred. Let's also get the texture for Fred. So go here to view textures under actors, humans, and what we're going to do here is add a new file. It's going to be under actors, humans, and it's a ping file, PNG. So let's just scroll down. There it is, texture. Open. You can go with all of these defaults. Say OK. And now you'll see here's our skin. So now let's go over to the Actors tab. And for Human Fighter, we're going to go under Appearance. And we're going to set the body mesh to be the male fighter. Okay. And then we're going to select none for the hair mesh, none for the face texture. But for the body texture, let's set that to our little thing called texture. And let's leave everything else alone. And here under preview, we can see here's our guy. He's a little small though. We'll have to scale him up when we bring him into the game. But anyway, he's ready to go. So let's go ahead and save actors. Go to the animation tab. And then under the male player, click on walk. And then set the animation over here from frame 2 to frame 40. Because remember, before frame 1 is the T pose. And I believe it's either 40 or 41 frames here. Let's do 41 for now. All right, and then just save animation sets. Okay, so now the character will be ready when we go back into the server, and let's unlock the server. Let's start the client. Okay, start the game. New character. You can just leave it human, leave everything. Give it a name. There's Fred. And then we're going to click create. I don't care about the unused attribute point, so click Fred, and there's Fred. Let's start the game. Now we should have an animated running Fred. Okay, remember I'm going to go ahead and move the camera around, alright, so we can see Fred, and now here we go running, or walking anyway. Now there's a little thing we have to fix there. We got the shadows a little offset. We can fix that. Remember when we had it in Blender, it wasn't exactly in the center of the screen, so it's a little offset from its home position. But nevertheless, there it is, animated and walking around in our world that we made, and that's the point of the tutorial. So all we need to do is go in there, do a little bit of fine tuning, fix the arms in Blender through some keyframe animation so they're not stuck in the body. Pick up the head a little bit, and you'll notice also he seems to be floating above the ground a little bit, and then he's offset from his shadow. So what we need to do is go back into Blender, pull him down a little bit, move him forward to the center of the modeling area, and everything should be good. So that concludes this tutorial, which is the Makehuman to realmcrafter pipeline. Thanks.